Welcome to another edition of IIABCal Voices. I'm your host, James Lott Jr., and for this inaugural episode, for the first episode, the premiere episode, we had to start from the top. So I am very happy because I used to be in this association 11 years ago. I worked for what was called IBA West, and I worked for the Insurance Skills Center Division. I was education coordinator and event management director for 9 years. And I had a great time doing that, but I moved on to Hollywood, as many of you guys know, or some of you don't know. And I'm a podcaster. I have a whole network called JLJ Media. I do web, TV, music, books. I have a whole mini empire. And I'm glad to work with IIABCal on these series of podcasts. But we decided to start the podcast off from a person who I've known for nearly 20 years. And I'm not surprised she is where she is today. She is the president of Phillips Associates Insurance Services here in Southern California, out in the Valley. She is the current, okay, folks, president of IIABCal, the current president. Yes, exactly. But she has a list of other accomplishments, but we're just going to read a couple just because we can go on forever. She was a board member of IBA San Fernando Valley, of the LAPD Devonshire PALs, of the North Valley YMCA. She's past president of the Chatsworth Porter Ranch Chamber of Commerce. I'm like, okay. And also past at-large regional director of IIABCal, and was IIB West, my friend. And so I guess you use all the names. Melissa Phillipp-Himes. Do that?
Hi, James. It's great to see you.
It's so nice to see you. Not a great smile. It's nice to see you. Like we were talking beforehand, we years ago, we used to always talk and we always had a great time at the conferences. Other than that, getting conferences ready. I mean, I have such fond memories of you. I just do. It's just be a really nice person and really dedicated to the industry. So I wish I said, I'm not surprised you are where you are today.
Oh, thank you. I remember I had to go into a classroom and it was my first time introducing the educator and I was so nervous.
I remember, oh my God.
You picked up on that anxiousness and you took me aside and you said, girl, you got this. Don't worry, just be yourself. You go in that room and you kill it. And I didn't kill it, but I went in the room and I felt so confident walking in and I remember that and thank you so much. And of course, your energy. I miss your energy.
Oh, I remember that. You just said, I was like, oh my God, I remember that. Because, I mean, as you know, I'm a natural speaker. I have no problem. I'm not a shy person or anything. So I've never had a problem. But I also do know how to pick up cues from other people and how they're feeling. And it's an art form. You have to learn how to watch and listen. That's the thing. It's good. And so doing these conferences and stuff, I know some people are just like, I can do this, I'm good. And those are like, well, what do I say? What do I do? I'm like, make them feel comfortable. Make them feel comfortable. And just go up there. Just go up there. And you got it. And girl, you had it. I love that. But thank you for that. I try to be smiley and friendly and helpful during my time at IBA West and all that back then. I have a lot of great memories. It was a great, I made a lot of great friendships.
Yes.
When I mentioned that you are president,
Mm.
I'm just going to dive right in.
Sure.
Because right now we're at a time in history where everyone is trying to be represented and get their piece of the pie, so to speak, and equality. Is it okay if someone says to you or mentions you, she's president of this association and she's a woman? What is that? Does that bother you? Is that okay? Like, how do you feel about that?
I'm fine with it. I think that a lot of the stigma today is really not reflective in how far women have come in business. And I think that I'd rather represent that positive, optimistic approach of, I expect to be here, and I'm happy to be here and I want to be here doing good work. And I love working with men and women and collaborating, and I believe in teamwork, and I can follow and I can lead, depending on what my role is. So when somebody wants to highlight the fact that I'm a woman and I'm a president of the State Insurance Association, I go, yeah, you're right, I am.
Right.
But truly, in my personal feeling about it, it's just, I expect to be here regardless. I've worked very hard. I believe in the association. We do fantastic work on behalf of our members, and I'm very proud to be here.
Because you've been in the business, what? I mean,
You're gonna age me?
No, I'm not going to say the number. I was going to say, because I expect my winners to say you've been in business for a while. I was going to say.
Yes, I'll say 31 years.
I mean, in all seriousness, congratulations. That is to find something and find success in it and enjoy it. That's life.
I think so. And I got lucky. I really did. I didn't plan to be here. I'm a second generation insurance broker. And at 16, my father, who has been an insurance broker for many years, sat my sister and I down and said, hey, girls, look, you're 16. Find some direction in life. What do you want to do? And we said, we're really unclear about it, but we know we don't want to do what you do. And literally 3 short years later at 19, he brought me into the insurance business, and I've never looked back. And I'm so grateful.
Wow. That is actually, I never knew that. I knew about your dad, but I never knew that you said, no, don't do it.
Oh, yeah, no.
That is hilarious.
Well, I guess the perception about insurance is it's super boring. It's not super sexy. People just, there's this misconception about what we do because we do serious work. And I think that goes hand in hand sometimes with the reputation. But oh boy, did I find out how wrong I was.
I had the same misconception when I went in 2000 or 2000, whatever year it was, I went in there. And I realized, no, it's not. And it's actually, there's a vast industry within insurance.
Oh, yes.
Within insurance education, policy making, different things that need to be insured. It's very big and wide and actually not boring. There's some stuff that's really fun and exciting in there, if that's what you want to do. You can find the sexy if you need to.
That's right.
I do. No, I learned that the years I was there. And there are a lot of people who have great skill sets within our industry, right? There's a lot of great people, great independent insurance agents and brokers, aren't there, in California?
Well, I think so. I am fortunate to know a few really great folks who have been my friends and colleagues for many, many years. And I would say to those young folks out there in high school or college, thinking about careers. James, you touched on it. If you want to go into government and do policy work or legislative work, lobbying, insurance is a huge sector.
Yes.
Huge sector. How about investigations, right? There's a huge sector of investigations on the claims side if you want to go into the claims side of the business. I personally was attracted to the sales side of the business.
I remember that.
Working with individuals, families, and business owners is really the highlight of my day. Yeah. And I know of no other business model like ours where you can build your business over time and have the residual income from the renewal business. I don't think there's any other business model like it. So if you're going to build a sales organization, insurance is a great option. Great people. And again, with the State Insurance Association, IIABCal, as you know, James, we're here to help. That's what the association is all about. Yeah. And it's a great community. And we've got some really great people supporting it.
Yeah, advocacy, support, community.
Yeah, you talk about it. I'm a big fan, right? I'm current president, so
yeah. But I
can blow it up and be a fan in a big way. But you're talking about the advocacy, right? You're talking about the legislative and you're talking about regulation. And right now, as you know, through the wildfires and now with COVID-19, we have seen so much regulation coming out of the Department of Insurance. And the big one, right, for insurance agency principals and owners is AB5. And IIABCal was the instrument, frankly, to make sure that insurance brokers and agents had an exception, that we could still operate as independent contractors. So there's that. There's always products too. We have a whole lineup of products. We just launched an entirely new product suite, which is called IMS, and we've just started rolling out. The website is up. We've rolled out some ad pieces on it. And then again with, services as well. So then the other part that you and I are so connected to is the community, right? You and I met each other and worked together because of this association bringing us together is the education piece. And we're doing some great education right now with partners from the carrier side and the regulatory side. And so that's going strong, but it's changed, right? People right now with technology, you know, we're getting all of our data through Zoom meetings. And I think that's wonderful. Thank goodness it's here because we can still stay connected in this time.
Yeah. Well, thank God. I'm saying I agree. This has saved everything.
Yes, it has.
I wish I had stock in Zoom.
Well, don't we all?
How did I miss that? I mean, who knew?
I did too.
I was like, I miss it. But yeah, all those things are true, and I'm glad you brought that because I do agree. I mean, I've seen all those different components you mentioned. I've seen them in action, like literally in action. But I'm telling you, I mean, for me, one of the big things I highlight is the community part because we're all, you guys are all independent agents and brokers in your little satellite offices and things and doing your own companies, that we're not in a big corporate culture. So being part of this association brings you together as part of something. And you can call, and I can call, right now, I can call anybody and go, hi, oh my God, I need help on this. And somebody will help me. And I can call someone else, and you could call someone. I'm like, they may know something that I don't know, and I can actually call them, and they're there as a resource. And I think that's a valuable thing.
And I will echo your sentiments. I could pick up the phone and call a colleague who frankly is a competitor.
Yeah.
And to take that one step back is we recognize that, and yet we still help one another. So if I have a question or I need some direction in a market placement or a question about perhaps a client issue, I have people to call that will talk to me. And I don't know where else, again, in an industry as large as ours, where you have that kind of camaraderie and support from a community. Again, I'm a big fan.
I love it. Me too. I love it. Big fan. And I just know, I saw it when I was there. I've seen it afterwards. I've had to call a few people over the years since I've left, and they pick up the phone, they call back. It's like I think that's one of the beauty about being part of associations. Not just for the name, which is also great. It's gravitas to give you so that you're in part of something, but also to be part of something. I love it. I mean, to me, it's that basic. I like being a part of something and a group that fosters support. And yes, you're competitors at some level, but I never felt it being super competitive. I've never felt that when I was there. I'm sure there's somebody out there probably, maybe, but like everybody knows each other and everybody's just like, oh, I did this and I'll pass this on to you. I mean, I've seen it in action.
I think that we're genuinely happy to be reconnected and see one another when the opportunities arise, either at the local levels, right, or at the state level.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so I think we kind of touched on some of the benefits, but I don't know if there's anything we missed on why someone should join IIABCal. Is there anything I missed?
Sure. First, if it's important to all of our businesses, right, to have a voice. We are highly, highly regulated industry, as we should be, right? However, we're not always going to be in agreement, or we might need some additional considerations. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons universally why any agent or broker in California would join IIABCal. That binds us together. Without a common voice to protect and preserve our industry, we're at peril. So that's the strongest message that I could relay. Otherwise, again, I mean, if you need support, if you need products, if you need services, if you need education, that's really the essence of joining the association. And all that takes money, by the way, right? So supporting, right, your state insurance association as they do their good work on all of our behalves is something that I would like to call on all the agents and brokers out there. We do need support to continue our efforts and services.
Yeah, I do. I don't think I've ever asked you this before.
Uh-oh.
I know, here we go. I'm like, if you were a tree, no, I'm kidding. I'm wondering, all these years being in insurance, what is one thing that you've learned about yourself personally while being in insurance?
I was in high school and I took a speech class. And I stood up in front of the class and froze. Completely froze, James. I had a speech and I looked up and I went, oh my God. The teacher was so kind. And I'm sure I wasn't the first and not the last, certainly. And kind of shepherded me back to my seat.
Oh.
Right. So I think what it has taught me personally is that I am much more a extrovert than I ever thought I was.
Okay.
I was very much an introvert, very shy. And this business, and frankly, through my opportunities with the IIABCal State Association and our local, right, in San Fernando Valley, it brought out the extrovert. It brought me to a level where I can converse with people and be comfortable. And I think that that is a gift. That's the gift they gave back to me is my voice and not being afraid.
Because we have to use our voice.
We have to use our voice.
We do. All of us do. We have to all use our voices to make effective change happen or positive change happen. You just have to. As you know, I use my voice. But I mean,
what a voice it is, James.
Why, thank you. Thank you. No, I try to get, I always try to encourage people, whatever fields they're in, to use their voice, because you said, especially in this industry, there are a lot of things where you have to speak up, and you have to speak out, or you have to speak with, whatever those things are. You have to use your voice, and staying silent doesn't move the needle. It doesn't at all. So I think it's very. So would you say this is your passion?
No. What I think is my passion is being in service. So insurance is a source of that passion, and I get to be in service every day, and I really do enjoy it. Look, helping folks protect what they work so hard for, should they have an unexpected catastrophic event. That's a responsibility and it's a privilege. And so that's where my heart is being in service. And again, insurance has given me that pathway.
Great answer. I like that. No, that's a great answer. Because this industry, and as you see my shirt, I'm a professional organizer also. It's a people-oriented industry.
Very
Insurance
much.
is about people, whether it's their businesses or their homes or their health or their this. I mean, it's a very people-oriented business, isn't it?
It is, thankfully. Technology is changing some of that at some levels. Some I think is appropriate. Others I think is going to be an overreach. We'll see. Just my personal feelings,
we'll see.
Opinions. But we do need technology, and we support technology. And I think that it absolutely has a place in insurance. And I think that it will continue to grow in insurance. But I don't also believe that it will replace this one-on-one and the connections that people make on a day-to-day basis. We need to be connected, and we need to trust. We need to place our trust in people, and that's hard to do without having a conversation or shaking a hand.
I agree. It's just one of those things where we have to lean into the future, but not give up the past, so to speak. Like there's ways to integrate technology within interpersonal relationships, right?
I do. I think it's a blend. Absolutely. And for some people, there's going to be a stronger emphasis one way or the other. I believe in balance. We're very busy here, right? Running around every day. And I have to tell you, it's kind of nice if I have a 7:30 meeting, right?
Yes.
To not have to drive a half hour to get there, just sit and so again, technology is wonderful. But I can't still wait to get back to some in-person meetings. COVID-19 has really taught me how valuable that in-person connection really is. And this is a great tool to stay connected. But this would be a lot more fun if you and I were sitting together in a studio.
No, it would be. It would be. And I totally miss that. I'm a very person.
Yes.
like meet people. I'm a hugger. I'm everything, all that kind of stuff. And
Yes.
for 90 days, I didn't hug or see anybody. It was really strange, the first 90 days of this whole crisis. And now, I mean, I've gotten tested. I'm negative on all these other things now. But that first 90 days was real. I had a couple of meltdowns. I will admit, because I'm just like, I'm not around people. Like, what's going on? Oh my God. I mean, I have my beautiful yard, my beautiful house, all that. But it doesn't replace people.
That's right. Yes. And I'm reaching through Zoom. I'm hugging you.
Please, I'm hugging you back. I'm holding on. I'm holding on. I'm holding on. Thank you. No, I mean, I do. I just think it's, I agree with that statement that I hope that we can get back to some hybrid of both, where this could be useful. You know, in Southern California, well, this could be great. I mean, there's no traffic here now. It's kind of funny.
We could save hours of drive time.
Exactly. I used to do some work in the valley, and you know, it could be anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on where
Yeah.
easily. You know, easily. So you're right. This does work for that. However, I do miss the interpersonal and hi, how you doing? Look at each other's eyes. How you just get to the touch. It's like, oh my goodness, and how are you? Being in the same room, just the energy in the same room, like you said about energy. I miss that with people, and hopefully we'll get to that. How would you like to see IIABCal grow from out of this? This kind of situation.
You mean through COVID-19?
Yeah, the COVID stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like, what do you kind of, as president, what do you see? I mean, what are you hoping for?
Well, I think on the dovetailing off of AB 5, heading into COVID-19, more than ever, it has really brought forward the need for advocacy for our industry, small agent to large. I think that's the most critical part of what we do. And we do it for everybody, regardless if you're a member or not. And so I, again, encourage brokers and agents to come check us out. You know, we're doing some really great stuff. And we need to continue to grow the association with support by adding new members to continue those good works. You know, and then again, I think there's a big space for products. I think online, being able to serve our members in a big way is delivering some products and services. And then again, I think perpetuation, right? That's always that underlying comment in insurance agencies, right? How are you going to perpetuate? And we've seen such massive merger and acquisitions taking place over the last, 5-10 years. That trend isn't slowing down. Yeah. And so I think that we have a space in working to bring in new professionals into the business. And I think you'll see some of that in the future. And I think that is a very important piece of what we can be doing to support the independent insurance agent, is helping to perpetuate and attract new talent into the insurance agency pool.
They're out there. I know they're out there.
They're out there. They're out there. We just have to, we have to get better at identifying and attracting.
Yeah, exactly. Melissa, thanks for being on the show. You're a delight.
Oh, thanks, James. I'm so excited to have spent time with you today. Thank you. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. And tell folks if they want to find your agency or anything, if they want to get business from you, or tell them where they can find you.
Well, best place is LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn, Melissa Phillipp-Himes, Phillipp & Associates Insurance Services. Or you can catch me on the IIABCal website as the current president of your state insurance association.
And I'll put those in the description so people can actually just go to them, make it easy for you. Because you are in business. So I'm always sense of business to you.
I am certainly in business, yes. and I'm a growing business, so yes, please do call.
Okay, so let's go. And I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold, at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms. JLJ Media is also on all social media platforms. This podcast is on any streaming service that you want to listen to podcasts. So if you have one like Spotify or iHeartRadio or Spreaker or Apple, go there, type in IIABCal Voices or JLJ Media, and you'll find us. This video is on my web network, JLJ Media, which is growing by leaps and bounds. I have about 40 shows on there. And go on there and check them out. Maybe you see something else. If you like Star Wars, or you like organizing, or you like life coaching, or you like the soaps, they're all on there under JLJ Media. go to IIABCal Voices. On that page, there'll be a playlist, and you'll see this video and others. And so go ahead and share with anybody who needs to hear this or see this or however way you look at it, and share it with them, please. I totally appreciate this. I'm James Lott Jr. Please stay safe. Try to stay sane during this crazy time period and have compassion for others.